What's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined as always by my dad, Sean, and today, reactions to the classics. We're going to be doing a full album reaction to The Jam and their record, Sound Effects. This comes courtesy of suggestion from our longtime patron and supporter and friend of the channel, Peter. Peter's a humongous fan of The Jam and of Paul Weller. We did a Paul Weller top 10, actually, that is up on the channel if you'd like to check that out. Yep. And we did a song battle with The Jam against Morrissey for their track That's Entertainment, which, ironically enough, is on this record.
Yes,
the only song that I think we know
yeah, exactly.
From this album, man. So looking forward to diving into this one and hearing what the Jam have to offer. Really like that Weller top 10. But before we do that, if you want to hit that big thumbs up, that would help us out. And be sure to hit that big red subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. And if you'd like to support us at all, you can check out our Patreon link. Shout out to the patrons who help keep us going. But all that to say, Dad, let's get into the quick facts of this.
Let's do it. It's the fifth studio album released in November of 1980. It is their only album that was co-produced by the band. Spent 19 weeks on the UK albums chart, peaking at number 2. In the US, it spent 11 weeks on the charts, peaked at only 72, as we discuss all the time on this channel, Trey. A lot of times the UK is so far ahead of us here in the US on musical taste. The album was a great critical success. In 2006, Q Magazine placed the album 15 in its list of 40 best albums of the 80s, and NME's got it at 487 on their list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. The Jam released 18 consecutive top 40 singles in the UK from their debut in 77 to their breakup in December of 82, including 4 #1 hits. As of 2007, they released 1 live album and 6 studio albums. When the group disbanded in 1982, their first 15 singles were re-released and all placed within the top 100 in the UK.
That's impressive, man.
That's a little bit on the Jam. Tell us about the cover work.
Yeah, the cover art is kind of like a conglomeration of various sound effects records produced by BBC in the 70s. Paul Weller freely admitted the Beatles' Revolver had been a major influence upon much of the material on the record. As you can see, Revolver is behind us on the wall here.
And my #1 album of all time, sneak preview.
He said he considered the album a cross between Off the Wall and Revolver. Wow.
Both of those reviews are up on the channel. Shameless plug right here.
Off the Wall, man, my favorite Michael Jackson record.
Yes,
first review we ever did on here.
Yeah.
And he has cited it, Weller has, as his favorite Jam record. So a lot of great hype around this. And single-wise, Polydor pushed for Pretty Green, which is the opener on this, to be the first single, but Weller insisted on Start. And Weller had Polydor ask a small peer group of his friends who'd been present throughout the recording sessions at the Townhouse and prior demo recordings at the studios. Given the choice, they chose Start as the best single release, and the decision was made to release it.
The decision was vindicated when Start topped the British charts in its third week after entering at number 3. I often wonder in that little story that I came across there if Paul didn't just tell his friends, "Hey man, say it's Start."
Let's get going on that.
All tracks are written by Paul Weller, unless we state otherwise. We're going to start out with what you said. Pretty Green. It's only 2.5 minutes long.
Yeah, and as always, y'all, we're not going to have the video in these full album reactions just due to copyright and to keep them at a manageable time. And so if you want to check out the full video with the music, you can check out that. We'll have a link to it for another site. And I thought this would be a good idea as well. The Jam, it's a 3-piece group. It has Paul Weller on the guitar, vocals, and keyboards. We got Bruce Foxton on the bass guitar and some vocals, and then we have Rick Buckler on the drums and percussion, just so you are aware of who is in the group.
Yeah, that's a good thing there.
But anyways, man, Pretty Green, looking forward to this one. Thank you again, Peter. All right, Pretty Green starting us off on this album. Definitely had that single sound, like it could have been a single.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I just am going to have that Pretty Green just in my head. But yeah, very pleasant sound. You talked about it when it started. The bass line's fantastic.
No, yeah, but big shout out to Bruce Foxton on there. He was able to really shine on that one. And, Pretty Green, I'm assuming is just straight up cash.
Cash,
man.
That's what I figured too.
That cash, I see.
That no one carries anymore.
Yeah, I see that Liam Gallagher, who is a big Weller fan, actually calls his clothing label Pretty Green, which, again, just shows the influence that Weller has had on so many in the UK scene, man. And I just like that when you got that pocket full of that Pretty Green, man, especially when you're younger, you want to go spin it on the jukebox, gonna go play all the records in the hit hit parade. And I like how he notes you can't do nothing unless it's in the pocket. Yeah, you have some of those humorous lines, or more cheeky lines, I guess, that we experience on Weller, especially at the end. And they didn't teach me that in school. It's something that I learned on my own. That power is measured by the pound or the fist. It's as clear as this. Just this is a really enjoyable way to start this record off, man. And short, sweet, to the point, very catchy. And now we're gonna go to another song that clocks in just under 3 minutes. We got Monday.
Nothing fun about Mondays, man. Maybe Paul will make it that way.
All right, Monday coming in as our second track. I said it had a little bit of a revolver sound, but I think you were more accurate, Dad, in the reaction, saying it had a more kink sound, and I think especially off their face-to-face record.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. That's exactly what I was thinking. I liked it. I thought it was very, dreamy, so to speak. I know he's dreaming of Monday. Not a lot to it lyrically. There doesn't need to be. Nice little catch. I didn't like it as good as, Pretty Green, but Pretty Green was an awfully strong song. But yeah, I liked it.
No, I enjoyed it quite a bit myself. Had a little, throwback 60s, little kind of psychedelic sound in there. And, whereas we think of, we were talking at the start, where Mondays kind of suck, man. He's dreaming of Monday because he's going to see his baby again. He either maybe
works with her?
Yeah, works or university or whatever the case may be. I enjoy some lyrics in here. Rain clouds came and stole my thunder, left me barren like a desert. But a sunshine girl like you, it's worth going through. I will never be embarrassed about love again. He's not going to be embarrassed about liking this sunshine gal. Then we go in a little more, though, and it notes, tortured winds that blew me over. When I start to think that I'm something special, they tell me that I'm not. And they are right, and I'm glad, and I'm not. I will never be embarrassed about love again. So those self-doubts coming in.
Exactly.
Or even maybe these tortured winds are other people telling him this or that. But I really enjoyed this track and the throwback kind of nature to that late 60s British sound that we're familiar with. And now we're going to go to a very short and sweet track.
Under 2 minutes.
But I'm different now, so let's get to it. Short and sweet, a nice up-tempo rocker here with But I'm Different Now. I enjoyed this for what it was, man. Little kind of little punk influence, obviously, just with how quick the song was and how we got through it, and kind of straightforward lyrical content as well. I'm feeling he cheated on his gal, man, but hey, I'm different now.
Fun lasts for seconds, love lasts for days.
I like
but
that.
You can't have them both, and I'm different now, and I'm glad you're my girl. I think it was perfect because you're going to do a song under 2 minutes. It's got to fly tempo-wise, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so that was mimicking a little Beatles there. I don't know that it sounded Beatlesque, but just the technique of like, look, man, if we're going to hammer this thing, like, for example, We Can Work It Out from the Beatles is 2 minutes, 17 seconds. Like, you got to fly, man. And I thought they did a really good job on that. It didn't seem like a short song because it just rocked.
No, exactly. I mean, here in 1980, we're coming kind of off the peak of, the punk rock movement.
Right.
Obviously Ramones, Sex Pistols, many others that, are famous for kind of these nice, short, sweet songs that get going, and a groovy little bass line at the very end as well, man. And I liked Weller's vocal delivery. Kind of, there were parts where he like kind of skipped almost like he was a record at the end. I thought that was kind of a neat technique, and I just really enjoyed how he delivered those lines there. So, but I'm different now. I wonder if it was the same gal from the song Monday. Who knows? But now we're gonna go to maybe the longest song on this record, I believe. At 5 minutes, we got Set the House Ablaze. So be curious what we do with the more long form type of track here. Set the House Ablaze coming in as a 5-minute epic little track here, man, and a lot going on in this track. Kind of a blender, it seemed, of a little bit of everything. Definitely leaned on that post punk kind of 1980 sound here. One of the first I think tracks on the first track on here that kind of has leaned into that, and I thought it worked really well. Shout out especially to Rick Buckler on the drums. I thought the percussion here was very solid. You had the whistling in there, Dad. You had a bunch of different
quick spoken word through there by Paul. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. There's a lot of things going on. It's the first song that's had the opportunity due to length to actually show their their versatility, I guess. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
I'd be curious to know, the audience's interpretations on this track. Obviously, something happened in here that set well, as the chorus says, something you said set the house ablaze. Yeah. I'm wondering if it has something to do with sexual orientation or something like that, because
that's what it seemed like.
It starts off, I was in a pub last night. A mutual friend of ours said he'd seen you in the uniform. Yeah, the leather belt looks manly, the black boots butch, but oh, what a bastard to get off. And then as we go in, it says, you was so open-minded, but by someone blinded, and now your sign says closed, but hatred has never won for long. You just got some lines in there.
I was wondering that too, and there's a little bit of a language barrier just in the use of words, between the UK and here and us in the US, but I interpreted it exactly the same.
Okay, well, if we were on that same path, who knows? That's kind of what, and especially the verse, it is called indoctrination. It happens on all levels. It has nothing to do with equality or democracy, and though it professes to, it has nothing to do with humanity. It is cold, hard, and mechanical. Maybe just the discrimination. I don't know.
I don't know either.
But
they are really starting talking about something with the government there. Who the heck knows?
No, man. So that's another thing I enjoy too, about the limited Weller stuff we know. Some of these songs you can kind of go one way or the other. But now that's going to take us to the song we were talking about earlier. The first single here, we have Start.
Yeah, it's their 11th UK single. Their second number one following Going Underground / Dreams of Children. It's based on both the main guitar riff and bass riff of the Beatles' 1966 song Taxman from the Beatles album, in my opinion, Revolver, written by, of course, the great George Harrison. So we should be able to pick up the that. Only about 2.5 minutes long, so it's going to be a quick ride.
Start coming in as we're approaching the halfway point of the record, at least in terms of the amount of songs, man. First single, man, didn't it had some catchy moments in there. This didn't strike me as much as being like a single-worthy track, honestly. But obviously I'm wrong. It went to number one. So
I swear I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say, it's not bad. Obviously love the little shout-out to the Beatles. But I was going to say, for the first time ever, Trey, I think I agree with the record company, or one of the first times ever, they were actually right about Pretty Green, but it doesn't mean this isn't a really good song.
No, I'm kind of the same way with you,
One of the lines I like, there's the third and fourth line, if we communicate for 2 minutes only, it will be enough. I know it's probably not meant to be, but the song's only 2.5 minutes long, so I thought there's a little irony built in.
That's
probably
true,
not. But,
man. I like that.
Sometimes when you do what we do here, you can try to build in meaning of stuff that's not really there when you try to really break it down.
Well, knowing Weller and his lyricism, who knows? He might have thrown that in there. But definitely, again, it seems like relationships are kind of a big theme of this record, and this one's no different. Where it seems like you got a guy here really trying to find love, desperate for it. And he even notes, for knowing that someone in this world feels as desperate as me, and what you give is what you get. It doesn't matter if we never meet again. What we have said will always remain. You can't take those words back. If we get through for 2 minutes only, it will be a start. So, man, he only wants just a couple minutes.
He's not setting his sights high. Sometimes you don't want to ask for too much, man. You take what you can get.
No, man. So, again, kind of enjoyed the story there, even if I'm like you did. I think Pretty Green was the smarter choice. But
what do we know?
Yeah, man, it went to one, so Weller is laughing to the bank. And now we're going to the only track on here that we know, and a track that is just excellent, both this and the Morrissey cover version. We got That's Entertainment. Never released as a domestic single in the UK, which is kind of surprising, but it charted as an import single, peaking at 21. It was given its first full UK release in '83 after the band broke up.
Exactly.
And peaked at 60 only. Reissued again in '91 and then made the top 50.
And I think something with that sometimes is, it's not, it's an import. So I think that pushes stuff up. Sometimes we've seen that in the US.
You're right,
with various tracks that were released in Canada and then leaked to the US back in the 60s and 70s. I think that might be the case here. The song remains one of the 2 all-time best-selling import singles in the UK, alongside the Jam's Just Who Is, the 5 O'Clock Hero, which hit the charts at number 8 as an import in 1982, and maybe proving my point, has been listed by BBC Radio as the 43rd best song ever released by any artist, 306 on the Rolling Stones 500 Greatest Songs of All Time. Trey, it uses an almost entirely acoustic arrangement with only very light percussion. Like much of sound effects, the song has strong undercurrents of pop psychedelia. The only electric guitar part in the song is played backwards over one of the verses,
baby.
a hallmark of psychedelia and a little Beatles throw out along with many others.
Yeah, and Weller said of the track, I was in London by the time I wrote That's Entertainment. Writing it was easy in a sense because all those images were at hand around me. He also said, I wrote it in 10 minutes flat while under the influence. Hey, man, some of the best work goes as we read through the years. He said, I'd had a few, but some songs just write themselves. I drew on everything around me.
Which that story just reminded me of something like you see in a movie, right? Where the guy's sitting there and he's looking around at everything.
Yeah, and then
boom,
it just starts
write it all down, man. Especially if you're under the influence. You don't got to think too much. Just write what's there. So, as you said, awesome song.
Just as good as the last time I heard it.
Yeah, man, so good.
And it's interesting here, listening in the album context. This is the first acoustic-driven track we've had, and square in the middle of that record, ending off side one. I just think the way that Weller's able to point or to paint the picture of that, obviously we're not from Britain, but we can put ourselves in that.
No, I almost feel
position.
like I'm sitting in Times Square in New York, which I've been in, one trip to New York long ago. But yeah, that I'm looking around and I see this over here and this over. Yeah, I mean, it's great.
And just kind of painting that picture of just the drab and maybe even bleak, lower class British lifestyle. Which I mean, you can obviously put that in any context. Here in the States as well, especially now in 2020, where the unemployment and economy is kind of in shambles right now with COVID. And I love the irony here. Just that's entertainment. Just describing from the police car and the screaming siren. You got the ripped up concrete, the babies wailing, stray dogs howling. You just kind of envision the chaos, rundown nature, and just that irony. Oh man, that's our entertainment here is kind of the lower members of society.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much else to add to it. Just a fantastic song. That's going to already take us straight to side two now. We're halfway done, or a little over halfway done. Hopefully you're not tired, and hopefully that you don't take this literally, but we're to dream
time, man. So let's dive into this one. I'll be curious the sound if we go a little more rocking on this one, since we had the acoustic.
Yeah,
that's entertainment. Coming in with quite the intro, man. It's definitely psychedelic.
It was. I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, man. This is one that I think would be. I mean, all of these would, but I think really fun to kind of see live, just with that energy with the crowd.
I was gonna say, lots of energy, man.
Definitely getting a nice vibe from this track for sure. And then lyrically, man, fitting a lot in here. Again, painting the scene as Weller so often does.
Very much. He starts out with streets I ran, this whole town, back streets and all. I wanted to leave there, but no matter how fast I ran, my feet were glued. I just couldn't move. There, I saw the hate and lots of people. I heard my name called above the noise. I tried to speak, but my tongue was tied. Bumped into emptiness and started to cry. Oh no, there's a lot in that in that verse.
There is, man. And I'm noticing Weller's so good at kind of describing the world around him, and not only physically what's happening, but also how that affects him emotionally, affects him mentally.
And I think in a quick tempo, catchy song like this, you can miss the beauty of the lyrics just because you get lost. The sound is so pleasant, but that's why I wanted to break down that first verse for you.
No, I think that was great, and then you go again into that more kind of up tempo, great melody here on the chorus. I saw the pretty lights and the pretty girls, and I thought to myself, what a pretty world, but there's something else here that puts me off, and I'm so scared, dear. My love comes in frozen packs, bought in a supermarket. And then
he just emphasizes that supermarket. You mentioned during the song how he can make anything sound good, like he sounded great on that.
Oh yeah, man. And bass coming in at the end, a great little groove between that and the drums there. That was a really enjoyable track right there. And now that's going to take us to the next song, track 8 here already. This record flies by. Man in the Corner Shop, just a little over 3 minutes. So that was actually one of my favorites that I've heard up to this point, just because I quite enjoyed the story that Weller was telling here, and I think it's kind of points to the human condition, man, where we all think the grass is greener no matter where we are on the other side.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Because it starts off kind of painting the picture, puts up the close sign, does the man in the corner shop, serves his last and says goodbye to him. He knows it is a hard life, but it's nice to be your own boss, really. Dad, I know you're your own boss, and it is nice to be your own boss.
Well, you are too, really, the way we run this channel, man. Yeah, it is nice at times, though it's not. if you're not making any money, there's no one to go ask for any more work. So it's a double-edged sword, and that's kind of what you see in here.
Because then his last customer, who they're talking about, he notes he's jealous of the man in the corner shop. He's sick of working at the factory. Says it must be nice to be your own boss. And then the factory comes in, which I'm just now catching. I didn't realize that he mentioned the factory in the first one. We get the catchy, just kind of la 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 la, vocalization, and then now sells cigars to the boss of the factory, who he is jealous is the man in the corner shop. So are we thinking the man in the corner shop selling these cigars to the boss from the factory?
Yeah, and now he's jealous of that guy because he's sick of struggling so hard. He says it must be nice to own a factory.
So everybody in the thing, in the song is kind of one thinking, oh man, it must be better to be here.
This guy and that guy and this guy. Yeah, we formed a little triangle that all comes back to the factory.
And then go to church to the people from the area. All shapes and classes sit and pray together, for here they are all one. For God created all men equal. I'm wondering if Weller's coming in from the sense, because then we get they know that God created all men equal. Are all men equally jealous of each other here, kind of?
That might be a good little take there.
Or who knows, maybe he's going for the more pure thing, like he said, all shapes and classes sit together and pray. Maybe at the end of the day, we're all human. We're all, created equal in God's eyes. I don't know where Weller's going on that, but again, I think you could go either way. But,
me too.
But anyway, now we're going to go to music for the last couple, which has a little factoid here.
Well, yeah, it was written by all three members, and it is the only album track in their catalog co-written by the entire band. So I found that to be quite interesting, all their work.
So did I, man. So let's see.
But when I see the lyrics here, I can probably see why.
All right, music for the last couple going in. Essentially an instrumental. We only had about four lines up in here. And
they repeat each other, and then the outro get away.
And so here you had you could definitely, as I mentioned in the reaction, you can definitely tell Bruce and Rick were co-writers of the song, man, because
it's just a jam, so to speak.
Yeah, no pun intended, man. Because the bass was definitely quite prominent going in, drumming and percussion as well. Just a little jam here, not one that I'm gonna be dying to go back to and listen to per se, but I respect the fact when a band puts like one track on there that's a little bit out there, and that's kind of what we had here.
Yeah, I agree it's a little bit out there. I get why they did it. For me, this is the first track I can say that absolutely did not work for me, and I wished it wasn't here. So how about that? Not that it's...
No, I respect
it. Is what it is, but yeah.
It's definitely my least favorite as well, man.
I wish it wasn't there, but that's going to move us on to a very short song. Only 2 minutes long. Mm-hmm. Boy About Town.
Man, only 2 tracks left.
I know, man.
It's coming to an end quickly. Boy About Town, our penultimate track, and man, after music for the last couple, man, I think this was the opposite spectrum.
Oh, it was, man. This is great, man. It's a nice little,
fantastic.
Put a smile on your face. Let's go, man.
Definitely could have been single-worthy. Kind of again, that reminds me of the 60s. Maybe not so much. I mean, a little bit of the sound, but, just it's 2 minutes long, short, sweet, and kind of has their most pop-centric type of sound, I think, on the record up to this point.
I agree.
Kind of in the vein where But I'm Different Now, there was also short, but it was more kind of fast-paced, a little punkish. This was on the more pop side of things, and we just start off, see me walking around, I'm the boy around town that you heard of, and he's noting like he's like paper, cotton, wind, gliding up street, down street, it won't let you go till you finally come to rest and someone picks you up. And put you in the bin, man. And then we had the La La La's that have been prominent on this record as well. Just lovely melodies and a just banging tune.
Like I'm sitting, watching rainbows, sitting here watching the people go crazy. Oh, please leave me aside. I want to do what I want to do, and I want to live how I want to live. And up street, downtown, or up street, down street, like paper caught in the wind, up street, down street. And won't you go? Nice little... That's a nice little tune, man, and that's going to take us to the final track.
We got Scrape Away, man. Scrape Away, 4 minutes long, and I'm gonna be curious how we finish this off, and afterwards we'll get into our favorite tracks and overall score. Right, Scrape Away, finishing off sound effects, man, with the the most biting tune yet. And as I'm reading here on the site, we're reading lyrics. It says that this was allegedly attack on old Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols.
Yep.
And as you go through the lyrics, there's a lot here that is quite biting.
It is. You're twisted. It just starts out. I mean, like this is just an attack song with a different kind of sound altogether. Right away, your twisted cynicism makes me feel sick. You're open disgust for idealistic, naive. You have given up hope. You're jaded and ill. The trouble is your thoughts, a catching disease. Oh, you need to get away. Oh, you need a change of pace because you're all dried up and you don't believe. You reckon I'm dreaming when I say I still feel real. You say you work for yourself and it's the only way, but I look at you talking and to me, you just scrape away. So like the problem is, I think what he's saying there is, your little thoughts and, the way you feel about things aren't just kept to yourself when you're the lead singer of a band,
yeah,
putting this out to millions, and it starts to, take over other people's minds. Which, ironically, when you're singing this, you're doing the same thing, trying to counter that.
No, and it's he kind of touches on that. What makes once young minds get in this state? Is it age or just the social climate? You're talking like some effing hardened MP. You're saying power's all, and it's power you need. So, I'm not familiar with like Johnny Rodden's, kind of full-on political ideals and whatnot.
I'm not either. I know recently he spoke out for his support of Donald Trump.
Did he really? Johnny Rotten did?
Yeah,
wow.
We'll just leave it there.
Well,
but yeah,
man,
so that's what he's currently doing.
Between him and Morrissey, man, these great British bands. But anyway, I like. I really enjoyed what Weller was having to say on this track. And he just kind of poking holes kind of in this thought processes that I guess that Rodden and others at this time had. You've no need for love. It's just hate, hate, hate. But I look at you, you're shaking, and it is you who is scraping away. You might have that front and say, this is going to be better. But if you're still shaking, if you're still only getting hate back and scraping away, man, what's the point? And then had a little French going in at the end, which maybe it gave a little preview to the folks for style council that would come later on. But anyways, that's going to take us now, as we finish this record off, to our favorite tracks. And you want to go first, or you want me to?
I can go first. Now, the last song, Scrape Away, is my least favorite besides music for the last couple. I don't dislike it. The sound is just so much different. It would take longer to grow on me. I respect what they're doing there. I don't know if I would have ended it that way, but I probably wanted that to be their last, their parting shot.
Biting,
Yeah, but I don't know if I would have ended that. My favorites, Pretty Green. I mean, that was the first song we heard. It's fantastic.
That was a good choice for a single.
Of course, that's entertainment. That's a cliched pick, but it's absolutely true. And then I've got three others in contention.
Yeah, that's always tough.
For that last spot. I have Dreamtime, Man in the Corner Shop, and Boy About Town. I mean, I guess I'll go Dreamtime. So Pretty Green, that's entertainment, and Dreamtime.
Well, I got two of yours, but I mean, it's almost cheating because that's entertainment. It's just such a great track.
But it's great for a reason, man.
It's going to be up there for a favorite. I'm going to go with Man in the Corner Shop, actually, and then I'll go Pretty Green with a nice honorable mention to Boy About Town, a nice 2-minute
definitely
pop tune there. And I enjoyed Set the House Ablaze as well. Their longer, 5-minute long song. I thought that was a pretty pleasant as well, which will segue us into our overall score of this record. And I mean, Peter, or the patron who suggested this, noted that this he doesn't even think this is like the Jam's best record or anything, but he really enjoys it and thought it would be a good intro. And you were definitely right on that, Peter, man. Enjoyed the psychedelia, the pop, the punk influences that were in here. I was really also impressed, especially with Bruce Foxton and his bass guitar. I thought there were a lot of moments in there. A lot of the times, Dad, I think you can back me up on this, where the bass guitar usually is just kind of there.
It's buried, man. It gets lost. You're kind of just stand over here on the side of the stage, brother, and just kind of help us out. It's very important in the way the music's driven. But yeah, you're right. It never takes any sort of center stage. But good point.
But I thought Bruce killed it. I thought Rick killed it as well. And I guess when you're a three-piece, you can kind of have those instruments be a little more up in full force. 11 songs, 35 minutes, great length for
Yes.
a record. Nothing overstays its welcome,
Nope.
even though music for the last couple, that would be really the only track I would kind of boot out of here. Everything else I thought was at least solid to, really good to great. So for me, I thought it was a really good record. I'm going to be sitting at a solid 7.75 for me after first listen, and definitely want to dig into the jam more as I'm falling in love with a lot of these, UK bands from
Me too, man.
the 80s.
It's funny. I'm going to be right there with you at a 7.75. If I could throw out, music for the last couple and maybe Scrape Away. I don't know.
Don't take Scrape Away.
I don't want to throw it out, maybe, but I don't want it to go last in the arrangement. But yeah, I really like this, and I feel like this could go up much higher on the scale for me. This is first listen, but I feel like this could definitely go up much higher. I'm actually going to spin this album again tomorrow, just on my own. I was wondering then, if Peter doesn't think this is a Jam's best album, what is? Because I'd like to get that a spin as well.
Exactly, man. Have to go back and listen to some more of their catalog for sure. Always open to suggestions.
And Peter's brought us some fantastic stuff.
Peter went from Stone Roses debut to this, man. I'm really enjoying it, and be looking forward to what else he has in store for us with song reactions and album reactions down the road, man. But let us know what you think of sound effects down in the comments below. As always, Dad, appreciate the research and appreciate you, Peter, for all the support and for bringing us these great tunes from across the pond here. And anyways, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Happy listening, and until next time, we will see you.